Welcome to Shift to Growth, where we listen to and talk to the world's greatest marketers to get perspective and insight. Today, I have a super special guest, Rob Talbot, partner and CMO at Chief Outsiders. This guy has been a big influence in my life because, as you know, came more from the operations standpoint. And when I got into Chief Outsiders, Rob took me aside and really helped me become a better marketer, gaining insights, understanding digital, competition, strategy, and execution from a marketer perspective. So I always really appreciate that, Rob. I really do. One thing about this guy is, holy smokes, HBO, executive marketer, Sony Pictures, Realtor.com, Napster. Are you like 80 years old or what?
Exactly.
So he's alumni from Tulane University and an MBA from UCLA. Super wicked smart, Rob Talbot. Tell the audience a little bit about you and what your superpower is.
Sounds great. So I think you covered a lot of what I've done in my career, going from a traditional marketer to, you left off at Napster, and from Napster I went to run marketing at Realtor.com.
Okay.
And from there was able to really jump on the digital transformation bandwagon, which is what I would consider my superpower, as well as what I try to help a lot of my customers do. And we'll get into this a little bit in the conversation, but I think COVID has expedited the need for companies that haven't been using digital to jump in, or they will become irrelevant.
You know, thank you. And I think there's another superpower you have, is you're like a superhuman being too. And so working with you and seeing your compassion for your clients and for others is just heartwarming. It really is. And so I wanted the audience to know that not only you're great at what you do, but you're great with people that you do it with.
My clients are awesome, and nothing makes me happier than seeing them go from A to B.
I love that. So there's another superpower. 3 things I ask my guests. Number 1, what trends are you seeing in the marketplace? Number 2, what's a cool project you're working on that the audience can learn from? And number 3, what's a terrific app that you would recommend that you love to play with and makes you more efficient? So number 1, trending in the market.
A couple of trends, and I'm going to focus on digital trends. The first is user-generated content. I think in this world where you don't know what to believe on the internet, they come off as trustworthy, authentic, and upbeat. And I think when you look at where people are hanging out, and marketers want to go there, so think about Facebook Live, think about Instagram Live, TikTok, and even companies like Amazon with their beauty channel are getting into it, where you can see someone use a product, click that button to buy it. And then the second thing I'm thinking about and studying is with the adoption of Alexa and other products like that are going in home, how does that translate into search and voice activated search? And I think that's going to be an interesting trend that we're going to need to follow over time.
Does Alexa really spy on us?
Yes.
Thanks. Now you really scared me.
Listens to everything we say.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And guess what? Content's not easy to get either. And you have to be super creative. It's hard, isn't it?
It's hard to get authentic content that feels real, that the other piece that consumers want is answers to their questions. So it's got to tell me, how is this useful, but also how is this useful to me?
I'm watching a Tour de France, and I always Google stage 6. Tell me about it. And, I get that drop down because I want the answer of what's going on in stage 6.
Right.
What cool project are you working on that you're really proud of?
So what I'm doing now for a couple of clients, and this is a direct outgrowth of COVID, is recruitment marketing. It's something that I haven't spent a lot of time with, but you'll hear it from every company. We can't get good people. We can't get the right people. So what I've been working with my clients on is the why. If you're going to try to find that person who will come to your company at a mid-level and switch, you've got to tell them about your culture. You've got to tell them about why it's important to be there, and what the upside is. You can't just throw something on Indeed and hope that you're going to get in all of these qualified candidates. At this point in time, they can kick the tires more than anything. And one of the things actually I do as a consultant is I go to Glassdoor. Before I take a project, I want to know what people think of this CEO. Is this somebody I want to work with? So I encourage my clients to make sure that they're current on Glassdoor, but I use it myself to help me figure out, the companies that I'm going to be working with.
I think that's outstanding. I think Simon Sinek has it right in the TED Talk, a golden circle, of really understand your why, then your how, then your what, rather than your what, how, and why. Because to motivate people, it's got to come through your why. And that's what I learned a lot about when you really did help develop the brand house out. When we go to clients, we really try to understand their why or get back to the why of the original founders.
Right.
In Microsoft or Apple, theirs is to change the status quo. They don't say they're making computers. Theirs is to change the status quo. So really, really cool. And that recruitment is important because I know clients right now, supply chain issues and people issues are the biggest thing hindering clients.
And you can't fix your supply chain until you hire the people. For my clients that are looking for an expansion strategy, it's chicken and the egg. We can't expand till we hire, and we can't hire because there's just so much competition going on in the marketplace.
Do you find, now we're going on a bunny rabbit, do you find that it's hard for clients to shift their organization around a strategy you propose? So, hey, you have too many salespeople, you may want more marketing operations people. You see that?
It's a discussion, and one of the things that you had talked about in your questions today was marketing to sales and finger pointing, and that's where I use technology and making sure that these folks, one of the things is it's not that they need more or less the others. They're not aligned. There's not a process. There's not an understanding of KPIs, and there's not a clear sense of the customer journey going from I need this all the way through to they bought it. How do I get them to talk about it? And that alignment between sales and marketing, whether you're using technology to help that or you're just sitting across a room and saying, how were the leads this week? What were they like to help me tweak my marketing message? That's where I like to start before we get into, do we need more internal salespeople or, more, crank up the digital leads? It's like, let's see what's going on first before we start making those, those big changes on the institution side.
Well, it's interesting too, when you build a strategy, and some of my clients are going to digital, they want instant results. And I said, man, your domain authority is like 0 right now. It takes time. And you've got it, the leads, you have to see the leads over time. You can't just see them for 1 month and say, wow, we're great, or wow, we suck. It takes time. And a lot of clients, just don't have the patience because they're used to a certain way of doing business. So
right. And you have to get them comfortable that even when you're testing in a digital world, you have to give it X amount of weeks or Y amount of dollars, because I've had instances where it takes Google time to figure out. You might think you know what your product is, but it hasn't figured that out yet because it's just an algorithm.
How long does that take?
I'm sorry?
How long does that take in general?
I would say you need to be in there at least 6 weeks.
Wow.
And the same, and by the way, that's not at $1,000 a day. We can manage the budget based on impression share just to get a sense of where we're going and who we're talking to.
Right. Very good. Thank you. Again, see, folks, that's how I learn. I just call Rob in Laguna Beach and say, dude, I need some help. And he gives me such great insight. All right, Rob, what tool are you using that you just love to use and it's really helped your customers or yourself?
Okay. Yeah. So the tool I'm using is actually it's a website called AppSumo, S-U-M-O, which is a marketplace for new apps. So this keeps me going, and it's mainly for marketers. They'll tell you they get the best deals. So these are free. These are lifetime memberships at a severely discounted price. This lets me play with a bunch of different apps with little investment for me that I can then use and pass along to my clients.
Just wrote that down. What's it again?
AppSumo, AppSumo. It's terrific. And they use YouTube to explain the apps that they're talking about on their marketplace.
Nice.
I love it. I can't wait till you dive in there and tell me which thing you bought first.
Well, yeah, we'll have another beer. I was in Laguna Beach last couple weeks ago, Rob, and I think we're going to do this again. Rob, thank you for being on Shift to Growth, helping other marketers be their best, and giving them some of your insights and some of your experience, which is unbelievable. And as I close, I usually tell everyone, be curious, and I know you are, be creative with that curiosity and challenge the status quo for growth. I think that's super important. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you very much, Don. I appreciate it.